Well, in a war-weary country, Congress passed the bill that provides the money the president says he'll need to organize the fight against ISIS. And that money will help to train and arm these men, the Syrian rebels. It was a rare bipartisan show of support, and it was a pretty bipartisan show of rejection. We have one of the representatives who voted no. Florida Republican Tom Rooney is joining us now. Representative Rooney, it's good to have you with us from Washington.
Thanks, Victor.
So right after the president's comments on the eve of September 11th, you released a statement on your website. I want to read just one sentence of it. I think we have it to put up for our viewers. There it is. You say, if we are charged with the responsibility to keep our nation safe, and if we agree that ISIS is a threat to our national security, then we must destroy them, period. We must be resolute, all means necessary to do so. So the question is, if you are not in favor of funding the Syrian rebels to take that fight, and you say that we must destroy them, are you advocating for U.S. troops to do that job?
Well, we might have to, Victor. I mean, nobody wants to go back to war. There's a lot of veterans in Congress that voted against this measure. There's a lot of my friends that served in Iraq and Afghanistan that the last thing that they want to do is have to go back and redo what they've already done. But the fact of the matter is that if you're looking, as my statement said, if you're looking at ISIS as a national security threat that can hurt us here in America, as the president insinuates, that they must be destroyed, our vote was to fund Syrian so-called rebels to do that. I just don't think that that will work. I don't know very many people that do think that that will work. So when posed with the question, will you support that strategy, I had to oppose.
And I want to take that next step again, you say we may have to. Do you think that's where the U.S. should start?
I think that it's a conversation, as we saw over 10 years ago when we gave George W. Bush the authorization to go into the initial stages of Iraq and Afghanistan. It took months of deliberation in Congress, not a few days. And this is very serious stuff. So I think that when we get back from this election, it's incumbent upon us, and we owe it to our constituencies and the military, quite frankly, to make sure that we do this and do this right, have the debate, figure out what we're willing to do, what we're not willing to do. But by and large, that request, as Speaker Boehner has said, has to come from the president himself. And then we agree or not agree whether or not to give him a new authorization. Is what I think that we really need right now, because this is different than 10 years ago.
How do you gauge the threat against the U.S. homeland? The president, many have said that there is no imminent threat to the homeland, but if this is a threat to national security, do you believe that, from what you know, that this is becoming a greater threat?
It's absolutely becoming a greater threat. I sit on the Intelligence Committee, and we get briefed on these matters on a weekly basis. And this has been going on for some time. I mean, these Syrian rebels that we're talking about arming, we've been trying to get to know for some time. It isn't just a new idea. It's had pretty mixed results, which is another reason why I oppose. But in the end, I think that when you say, and the president says, that they're not imminent, yes, they're probably not coming here today or tomorrow, but their goals and their intentions are to wreak havoc in the Middle East and do whatever they can to recruit people to be able to get back here and get back into Europe and to be able to continue the kind of things that we just saw in your last segment there. So I think that was proof in the pudding, having somebody from North America in their propaganda. So that is their goal, and certainly it is something that we should take seriously, and I'm glad that the president says that they need to be destroyed. Funding the Syrian rebels is not going to do that.
All right, Republican Congressman Tom Rooney of Florida, it's good to talk with you this morning.
Thanks, Victor.
Sure.